Now, all the way from Bruchshane, Christopher Moore recently wrote a full draft of a novel in 7 weeks, and somehow is still alive. He likes to visit places if he has a writing-related excuse, but seems to find himself thwarted by the gods when he's due to travel. But that's not the case tonight. No meddling gods for the Armagh flash fiction. And he's here, and tonight Christopher is reading Yeats.
Hello everyone. Well, the gods is just a fancy way of saying stomach bugs, to be honest. And I have to say I share Karen's absolute horror of wasps. As far as I'm concerned, they're demons on wings. This story is kind of a combination of like fiction and non-fiction. It's based on, I've been reading or rereading a lot of Irish literature recently, and one of the things I was reading was a book of W.P. Yeats's poems, and it's loosely inspired by one of his poems, The Wild Swans at Coole. I think that's the name of it. And one of the most interesting aspects of his life was that he proposed to the same woman, I think about 3 or 4 times, who was a well-known revolutionary. And I just sort of found myself thinking, what would it be like for him on one of these walks, you know, thinking over his field romance and his feelings for this woman. So that's what this is about. Am I a fraud? I sometimes think I must be. I wander these paths, these woods at Coole, this tranquil refuge from the cares of life, so many times, so many days, with none but my own thoughts for company, and I lose myself so deeply in my own imaginings, my own dreams, my own image of the world and my life as I would like it to be, that these thoughts, these dreams take on a life that seems to make them real. I find myself passing by the lake, peering at the lonely man, staring up from the unspoilt surface of the water, disappearing into incoherent ripples as the swans come in to land, and the whole mirror before me is broken and disturbed, and for a moment it's like I receive an epiphany, a moment of perfect, unkind clarity, where I see just how alone I have made myself, on these walks, in this seclusion, how hermetic, how reclusive, how hidden away from the truths of life I have allowed myself to become, and the dreams in that instant seem foolish, because she has refused me, more than once now, has been graceful, has been kind, has been charitable about it, has remained in my company and on the periphery of my life, but she will never be mine. If her inclinations towards me had anything approaching the strength of mine towards her, it would not require more than one attempt to convince her to accept me. Nothing had changed, for her part at least, between the first and second asking. So I have no right, and there is no logic in expecting that the third or fourth entreaty would result in a different outcome. She has made her feelings, however kindly or graciously, perfectly clear. This is a one-sided infatuation, no matter how strong. And deep within, when examining the honest truth in my heart, I know this is not going to change. So then, does that make the rest of my life, my leanings, my outlook, fraudulent? Does my interest in, my being drawn towards that revolutionary spirit she so passionately embodies, stem solely from my love for her person? If she were not leading, not advocating, not striving for her political purpose, would I feel that purpose compel me as fiercely? Am I not, in truth, seduced to its purpose, to the zeal of its followers, merely because of her? This does bother me. Of course it bothers me. It would affect anyone's conscience if they stood and thought about it for long enough. A possible untruth at the core of their very being, their very life, their very worldview. If one had the time and the space to stand and think about it. But the truth, the enduring and powerful, perhaps pathetic truth, is that I do not have that time and that space. For as I stand here by this water, by these magnificent creatures, with all the freedom to contemplate that any man could reasonably ask for, all I can continue to think about is how my soul aches for her, how I long for her with every waking moment and breath. It has been a gift from heaven for my writing and for my work. As an artist, I can have no complaint about the inspiration she has afforded me. But as a man, as a human being, as an aching soul, I fear it is an emptiness that will never be filled.